Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to break down a really common problem that affects so many of us, varicose veins. We'll get into what they are, a pretty unique theory about what causes them, and a couple of surprisingly simple home remedies that our source material lays out. So, have you ever looked down at your legs, maybe after a long day, and seen those twisted, sometimes painful veins? If you're over 30, chances are you have, and you just have to wonder, what is really going on under the skin? All right, so before we can even talk about solutions, we've got to get a really clear picture of the problem itself. Let's dive into what's actually happening inside our legs.
Okay, so what are we really talking about here? Essentially, it's when those blue veins, the ones doing the hard work of carrying blood back up to the heart, just get overwhelmed. They get inflamed, they get twisted and hardened, and that's what creates those swollen, knot-like bumps that you can see and feel. And look, this is so much more than just how it looks. It's a whole progression. It might start with a feeling of heaviness as blood starts to pool in the leg veins. Then comes the inflammation and that twisted appearance. But it can keep going, leading to real nagging pain at the site. And in some cases, it can get so bad that even just walking becomes a chore. It can truly impact your daily life.
All right, now this is where the perspective we're exploring gets really interesting. The proposed cause isn't some big injury or a single event. No, it's a slow burn, a process that takes decades. And it all comes down to one surprising factor.
And that factor is heat. Yeah, heat. The whole theory is that every single day when we're standing, walking, just living our lives, our legs are generating a tiny, almost unnoticeable amount of warmth. It's not like a fever. Think of it more like the gentle heat coming off a phone that's been in your hand for a while.
So what's the big deal with a little heat? Well, day after day, year after year, that low-level heat causes the veins to expand just a tiny bit. At night, they cool down and contract. And our bodies are incredible. They can handle this cycle for about 30, maybe 35 years. But after that, the theory suggests they start to lose their bounce back. They can't just keep expanding in the same spot. So to cope, they have to twist and harden and bulge. So if the problem is really decades of this slow accumulated heat, then the solution offered up is elegantly simple. It's something that's said to be rooted in some pretty ancient wisdom, and it's all about fighting back against that daily buildup. This perspective completely reframes the issue. It's not some complex disease, it's a heat disorder. And the claim is that our ancestors just knew this. Their fix wasn't some complicated potion, but a simple daily ritual to cool the body down and just reset the balance. And here it is, the whole ritual. It's all about creating a new habit. The moment you walk in the door from being out, before you kick off your shoes or start dinner, you just head to the bathroom, wash your hands, your face, and especially your feet with some water. The goal is to immediately knock down the day's accumulated heat. It's like a small daily reset button for your veins. Now, the second remedy is just as fascinating. And get this, it uses a part of a fruit that pretty much all of us just toss in the trash without a second thought. Yup, the lemon peel. Who knew? So the source here claims that while we're all about the juice, the peel contains something it calls vitamin P. Now, vitamin P isn't a vitamin in the way we think of, say, vitamin C. It's actually a term for a group of plant compounds called bioflavonoids, and they're believed to be great for helping strengthen our capillaries and improve blood flow. So the prep for this is very specific. At night, you take the peel from about a quarter of a lemon, grind it up into a paste, and then just add it to a small bottle of water. Give it a good shake and let it sit overnight. The whole idea is that those good compounds seep out into the water. Then, throughout the next day, you just sip small amounts of it a few times a day. Now, and this is really important, this is not presented as some kind of quick fix. Because the problem took decades to develop, the remedy needs patience. The suggested timeline for really seeing results is 2 to 4 months of consistent use. And that just makes sense when you think about it, right? A condition that built up over 30-something years isn't just going to vanish in a week. It absolutely stands to reason that any natural approach is going to take some time and consistent effort to help the body find its way back to relief. But, beyond the physical remedies themselves, this whole perspective offers something bigger,
A really powerful shift in how you think about the pain and the condition itself. Instead of seeing varicose veins as your body failing you or as some kind of defect, this view asks you to imagine it as communication. That pain isn't just a random symptom. It's a message from your veins, literally signaling that they are under stress and they need a change. Maybe, just maybe, they need a little less heat.
So let's just boil this all down. What are the key takeaways? First, this idea that varicose veins can be thought of as a heat disorder from decades of just using our legs. Second, that super simple daily habit of washing your feet to help cool things down. Third, the untapped potential of lemon peels supposedly rich in vitamin P as a home remedy. And finally, and maybe the most powerful idea of all, that your pain isn't just a flaw, it's a message. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If something like this could be interpreted as a message, what other simple, quiet signals might our bodies be sending us every single day? And what might change if we actually started to listen?